Hello guys, and welcome back to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. So in today's class we're going to learn how to cut and sew this over bust corset, so you can see what we made at the end of the day. So we're going to make the pattern drafting a little bit fast for the back piece, so when we get to the front we'll reduce it. So I'm trying to create out a basic bodice. Okay, so this is just creating out a basic bodice. In case you don't know how to do that, you can just check through my YouTube channel. So I measured my shoulder measurements and then create out a curve for the armhole. So the next thing, I'll add my bust measurement, divide by 4, and then that other line. So that's my bust point, my under bust, my waist, and then the full length. Okay, so the under bust measurement, you divide your under bust measurement, divide by 4, and then add your stitching allowance. So I normally use stitching of allowance of like 2 inches. So the next thing, you divide your waist measurement into 4. So for this, my waist is about 36, and then my hip line, so which is like the full length, is 40. So you divide all this measurement into 4 and then place them on the lines. Okay, so you can see it is easy. So we are done. So the next thing now is for us to take out our dart. So for the dart, I'll use a bust span of 4.5 inches. That's nipple to nipple 9, divide by 2, 4.5. So I'll just mark it on the lines and then take half of an inch out from the waist for my dart. So you can see that is basically all we are doing for our back piece. So the next thing, I want to mark out the neckline for the back. So I'll come down to almost like 9 inches. Okay, so I'm just going to curve that into that part. So after curving it, you can see how simple and easy this is. Extend that line and then we are basically done for the back piece. So for the back, it's a simple, just use your normal basic bodice and then just create out the neckline like that. So at this point now, so I want to snatch the waistline, so it's just a little bit of snatch. So for this part now, check the other part of my blouse. I'll just rule a straight line, so divide that part into 2, and then I'll take out half inch from this other side also. So that's just like taking out 1 inch. So I'm not putting too much emphasis on the waist snatching in today's class. So for this side, because of the loops, I'll take out about 2 inches from the back. So even though I did not add a zipper allowance before, I still took out 2 inches. So now we're going to mark the front one. That's the our front body. So I came down by 8 inches and then I'll mark it like that. So from that 8 inches now, I'm going to mark the center of it and then just create out my armhole curve. Even though this is not necessary, but I'm just putting it as a guide. So I'll mark that, just create out your curve, just almost the same basic bodies. And then this is our bust point line. You will mark your bust measurement, sorry, mark our dart lines, which is our circumference, for that's our nipple to nipple measurement. Yes, so 4.5, and then mark it across. So these are all the line: bust line, under bust, waist, and then hip. So for the dart, I'm going to take out 2 inches for my dart. So I came to the right hand side, I'll mark the 2 inches from the waistline like that, and then mark it also on the bust point line, on the under bust line, sorry. So I'll rule it like that. So you can see I ruled it down from the under bust line down, and then from that under bust line, I'll connect it to the nipple point, which is the nipple line. So from this part, I'm taking out a neck width of 3.5 by 2 inches. So like I said, this is just serving as a guide. So after marking it that way, the next thing I'm going to do now is share what I have left in my shoulder, and then I'll connect it to create my shoulder dart. So I'll just connect it, sorry about my voice, and then I'll connect it. Okay, so after connecting it, the next thing, I want to take out the full bust measurement. So for my bust is 40, so I'll mark 40, divide by 4, and then mark my stitching allowance. So the same thing I mark on that point, I'll bring it to my bust line. And then my under bust is 30, divide by 4, that's 7.5. I'll bring that 2 inches for my dart and then add my stitching allowance. And then for my waist is 36, divide by 4, which is 9, and then bring my dart and then add stitching allowance to it. And then the hip line is 40, divide by 4, add your darts and then add your stitching allowance. So I have succeeded in adding all of my points, so I'm going to connect all of them. So from this point I came up by like 3 inches. The essence of doing that is just to create a curve, like a round waistline. So that's the essence. So I just came up so you'll be able to curve it. So that's why they actually do that. So the next thing we're going to do now, we want to create the over bust. So for the over bust, I'm going to come up by like 5 inches from my bust point line. So for this one, you are the one that will determine what you actually want. So I came up by 5 inches, okay? So after marking that 5 inches now, I'll just rule it with a straight line. So you can go up as much as you can, as you want. So that's the essence of using a pattern. It makes it easier. So from this part, I'm going to measure about 1 inch. I want to tighten that part a little bit. That's my bust line. So I'll just curve that part that way. So you can see it gives it a finer curve. So the next thing I want to mark now, from this part, I want to create the neckline. So for me to create the neckline, I'm going to measure. I'll come up again by like 2 inches or 1 inch, so thereabout. So for this I actually used about 1 inch, but later I changed it to like 2 inch. So part that part where I mark that over bust line, so you can see I am curving that neckline. So you can see that's from the armhole side, that's where I'm just curving it to create that curve. So I'll check what I had about 6 inches thereabout. If you want to come up more, you can come up. Okay, so for this part now, I want to create out that mark. So I came up from that part, I came up. I later changed it and then came up from that part. I came up now 2 inches. Okay, so when I checked it, I did not like it, so I came up. So from this part I came in by like 1.5 inch or 1 inch thereabout. So I'm just going to blend that in. So the essence of blending that is to have those sharp edges on your over bust. So it is optional. So after that, I want to tighten this part a little bit. So I just mark the middle of this side front and then ruled it down with a straight ruler. It is not really straight because you can see I marked it because I want to create that legs. That's for my boning chamber. So for this part I just came in by 2 inches from the top and then slanted it in. So the essence of slanting it is just for me to create that legs. That's for my bonings. So after that I took out another 1 inch from that side, which is optional, you understand. So this part I marked now is my original dart. So on this other side again I took out half of an inch. So at the end of the day, something like 2 inches is what I'm snatching with, not so much snatch. So after everything, you can see it is simple and easy. We are done already creating out our pattern. So you can see I'm cutting out the neckline points like this. So you can see after cutting, you see how this is looking. It is looking good and easy. So like I said, for these dart legs, you can mark them however you want to, you understand. So this line I'm cutting now, you can slant it however. It is not, does not have a particular measurement, okay. So at this point now I'm cutting out this part. So there's something I realized, that tightening that I did, I was supposed to mark it to connect it to the top, but I did not connect it. So I'm going to use my pencil so you can see what I'm saying. So I'm supposed to connect it to the top like that, so I'll be able to cut it out. So connect it, don't forget. So after everything, I am cutting out everything like this. So you can see over bust, there's no big deal. So the next thing, we are going to transfer, this is our fabric. We have about 2 yards of fabric, so we'll transfer this to our fabric. After cutting out our lining, ironing all of our interfacing, hair stay, gum stay, on the fabric and then hair stay on the lining. This is what everything looks like. So the next thing now we're going to start stitching. Is a simple process. So the first thing, we're going to start with the back piece. So for the back piece, please subscribe to my channel. If you have not subscribed, please like this video, please, I beg you, please like it. So this is the back piece. I am trying to join them together, so I'm just keeping the other extra ones. So the back piece, like you can see, it is still divided into three. So I am going to mark it, that is, I'm stitching it down. So that's the center back. So I'll just stitch it down that way. So after stitching down that part, I'm going to open it and then take the side. So that's the side of the back. I'll join it to it to make sure that everything is okay. So I will join it back. After joining everything, so this is one side of the back, and then I'm just trying to check. So this is the other side. I'll do the same thing. So after sewing everything, this is how the back looks like. The next thing, we're going to do the front piece. So I'll join the front together now. So I'll hold it from that neckline area, and then I am going to join that part. So I'll join it carefully, you can see. So I'm joining it right now. So I've joined one side of the front, so I'm joining, trying to place it properly to make sure, so to navigate my curve, to make sure that everything is okay. So please subscribe if you have not subscribed. I would appreciate that. Like this video, share it with your friends, your soul colleagues, everybody in your community. Share with them, tell them about Stylish Naija YouTube channel. Okay, so this is the side. I'm placing the side now of the front. So I'm placing the side, the front also. I'll join the side to it. Okay, so like I said, I tried as much as I can to make this part of the video not to be too fast. So please subscribe, or if you have not subscribed, and like the video. As you are just watching it, like it. Okay, so now I'll open this up and check. So it's remaining this other side for me to place this also. So I'm going to go and stitch that down right now. So after stitching, I am actually wanted to so I'm just trying to check it, okay, to make sure that everything is okay. So after checking it is okay, the next thing, we're going to be creating the boning. So to create the boning, I just took out the straight pieces. I'm doing an internal boning. So I just took out the straight pieces of fabric and placed it. So this is the back piece. So for this, when it comes to internal boning, you can do it however you want it. So basically what I'm doing is just sewing lines and then making sure that I have space in between the lines where I'm going to place my boning. So that is just basically what I am doing at this point. So like I said, don't join your fabric. Don't try to say, let me cut it like my actual fabric piece and join it. No, you need a straight flat fabric so that you'll be able to navigate it. So that's what I did. I just placed a straight flat fabric on my back piece, that's under, and then sew it. Always make sure you sew it from the right side. Why do you sew from the right side? So that you'll be able to see if your seams are straight. Because even there's nothing like, if you are doing boning and the seams are not straight, it will just look so tacky. So make sure, so sew from the right side and then you check it. You saw me trying to loosen some now because it was not straight. So that's for the back. So you can see, after everything, I looked at it, all the lines were the same, all of them are straight and they are equal. So that's for the back. You can see it. I'll do the same thing. So for the front, I've started doing the front. For the front show me small shake. It was not, so at the point it will not be straight. I'll lose it, I'll do it again, I'll lose it, I'll do it again. So that's for the front piece. But when it comes to sewing, you have to be very patient, okay? Very patient, so that your work will come out very fine and neat. So after everything for the front piece, so I think this side at this point now, I think that point I was pressed checking, still had a little bit of, what do you call it, um bent. So this is the center front, that's the center, the middle, because I need to put a bone in there also. So I'm trying to mark it the way I want it to be. So that is what I'm trying to do. So I'll just mark 3 lines. So these 3 lines, I'll put a line in under, and then sew all these lines straight. So the in between of the line is going to be where I'm going to pass my boning, because this is the front piece, the center front. So that is why you can see I'm taking my time like this to make sure that I mark it. You don't want to rush it, you need it as straight as you can. You don't need bent seams, or else that dress will look so funny and tacky. So after everything, I'm going to take on the lining that I will use. So I want to check it, I just want to make sure that I double check it to make sure that it is straight. So you can see that's what I'm going to place at the under. So please subscribe. If you have not liked my video, please like it. So I'll place that and then sew it just like I explained to you guys. I'll stitch on those 3 lines. So for the other part, for the lining, I'm going to be doing a bust caging, but I'm not going to show it in this video. I already have a bust cage video on my YouTube channel. So if you don't want to do a bust cage, you can use your normal bra cups for this. So I'm going to do, so actually did a bust cage. So at this point I was just trying to mark all my lines where I would do the cage. So after everything, this is what I have. So what I did, I have not joined the side of my piece. So after everything now, excuse me, so I'm trimming out all of my armhole, just making sure that everything is okay. So you can see the way the inside looks. So after everything, trim out everything, okay? That's all the fabric that you use, trim them all out. So for the back piece, you notice the back one is still staying straight. I did not trim it, but the front one I need to trim it so that everything will lay flat. So you can see how the inside, so you see what I was trying to say, you trim everything away. So I'm going to be doing an inseam. So doing an inseam, I'm going to join fabric to fabric and lining to lining. So I'll join them on the side of the piece of my front corset, over bust corset, okay? So after doing the over bust corset, the next thing I am going to do now for this over bust corset is I'll take my bust caging, and then I'm going to join the lining of the over bust. That's join the front pattern to the back pattern of the over bust, and then I'll take the over bust on the right side, the over bust corset. I'm going to join it. You can see the way I'm explaining it. I'll stitch from the armhole to the neckline, like that, to the other end, but I'm not going to join the side of the over bust corset, and I'm not going to join the down part of the over bust corset. So what I'm going to do at this point now, you place your boning, just put them inside. Why are you doing it now? Because you want to close the over bust corset. Now you want to stitch it down. So you can see at this point, you will take a look at it and you see that your over bust corset looks good and okay. So now stitch the edge. That's how from the right hand side, I'm just sewing it down. Since I'm not turning this, I want to pipe it. So you just take it and then you stitch it. So when you are doing this, use your hand to make sure you arrange the over bust corset. So after everything, you can see what I have. So please subscribe. You can see it looks good, it looks okay at this point. I just checked it on the mannequin and it was looking good. The over bust corset came out, is coming out fine. So thank you so much. This is the end part of the video. So this is after everything. It came out really fine. So as you can see, our over bust corset, it came out really fine and nice. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, see the back, it looks so beautiful. Please subscribe, like my video, share my video with all of your friends, tell them about this over bust corset. Thank you so much, guys, for watching Stylish Naija YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Thank you so much. You can see it looks so beautiful. So you guys are going to see me rocking it later, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.